What makes an amazing leader? I know you've had them before. You've had professors, you've had supervisor. What does it mean to be a leader? I want you to think about times in your life where you've had poor leaders and amazing leaders. In this video, I want to talk about some of the recurring patterns and traits that we see with leaders that are exceptional, with the ones that we look at as ideal and we go, this is what the blueprint of being a leader should look like. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. When we talk about being a leader, the first thing that's extremely important is confidence. Confidence, confidence, confidence. Why? If you're not confident in what you're saying, other people won't believe you. And the bad thing is, you might be extremely competent, smart, well at what you're leading in. But if you're not confident, people are going to start questioning you. I had a professor once who was so unconfident that it made me doubt her competence. That was a big problem, folks. Right? When your supervisor, when your professor comes up and goes, hi everyone, today we're going to talk about forensic psychology, and we're also going to, you start thinking, are they unsure about what they're saying? Are they not skilled in the topic they're about to teach us? Now, this might not be competence. The lady was very smart, believe me, she was intelligent, but because her confidence was missing, it was hard to look at her as a leader and to follow her lead. Like, it took some time. And in the real world at work, you might not have that time. So if you want to lead, you better be confident. Confident does not mean you have all the answers. Confidence means you don't fear being wrong. Or if there is fear, you are brave enough to try. You are courageous enough to try, to take initiative and think to yourself, I might be wrong about this, but let me take the lead. Let's see what happens. Hey, everybody, here's what I'm thinking. Plan A is this, plan B is this, plan C is this. We're going to start with A and see where it goes from there. Everybody good? That's all confidence is, folks. It's being okay with failing. Taking initiative. Okay, so number one, confidence, extremely important. Number two, competence. You have to know what you're good at. You have to know about the thing that you're leading. It's not enough to just be a good speaker. Some people think, oh, if I'm just loud and charismatic and well speaking, everyone's going to follow me. Not necessarily. Or they will at first, but then they'll quickly find out you don't know what you're talking about. So being confident and being assertive is not enough. You actually have to be competent at the thing. You actually have to know what you're talking about. I'm sure you know people in life where you've met people who they can speak very well, but then you ask them a couple of questions and they start speaking in philosophy, we call it circular reasoning, or they start saying things that don't quite make sense, that aren't logical. And you're sitting there going, why would you say that? So confidence, competence. Number three, a leader has to be an amazing listener. Unfortunately, there's this misconception that a leader is a tyrant. They're a dictator. It's top down. I tell you what to do and you're my employee. You say, yes, sir, I'll do it. Versus what makes a really incredible leader is amazing listening. All right, team, here's what we're going to do. Blah, 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 blah. And then someone comes up to you and says, well, actually, there's a problem. What's the problem? And then you really listen. Okay, I see. Interesting. So that's the way that it goes. Like, if I've ever led anything in my life, whether it be at work, whether it be at school, I've never said, all right, here's what we're going to do. You do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. Well, maybe. But what I mostly end up saying, the majority of the time is, all right, folks, so here's the problem. Here's what we need to do. We've got a couple of different ways we can go about it. You guys decide for yourselves how you want to do it. If I'm working in a group, let's discuss and let's talk about why we think this is a particular approach we should or should not take. Or, all right, folks, here's the problem. We need this to happen. Here are 3 different ways we can go about it. Let's talk about the pros and cons of each together. And then I sit back and then I listen. If you want to be a good leader, you have to be a good listener. Why? If I'm not a good listener, I better be right 100% of the time. Because if I'm not, and I don't like listening to other people, we've got a problem. Being a leader does not mean being a dictator. Being a leader means having exceptional listening skills, being able to read the terrain, and working with other people. Not just, I lead, so I tell you what to do and you zip it. All right? Next quality, the ability to delegate. So when you're a leader, don't think like you're self-employed. Think like you're a business owner. I can only do so much by myself. But as a team, We can accomplish a lot together. So let's think about who can do what. Well, look, let's say I'm a people person. Okay, guys, there's 4 parts to this project. I'll take on the part that's revolving around people. All right, the next part is involved with computers. Who here specializes in computing? Is there anyone here that has a lot of experience? Oh, Sally does? Awesome. All right, Sally's on computing. Number 3, we got to drive. So we've got these materials. We got to take them from this place to that place. Who has a car? Who's available? Who can pull this the most conveniently? Steve? Awesome. All right, Steve's on it. So you begin to delegate tasks. Who's good at what? Whose specialty is this? Right? You don't put Cristiano Ronaldo as a defender. You don't take Tom Brady and put him in the basketball court. You put people in their correct positions to get the best out of them. Let them play to their strengths. The next thing a leader has to know is how to improve and support the people around them. If you're in a workplace, my hope is that your leader, your supervisor, your employee pulls you into the room and goes, hey, how are things going? Okay. What can I do to make life easier for you? What do you need? Do you feel like you need more breaks? Do you feel like is it too much work for one person? Do I have to delegate it some more? Do I have to extend deadlines for you? What do I need to do to make life better for you? It's like, oh, everybody works for the leader. Not necessarily. Why? With that sort of dictator approach, what happens when all the employees leave and the leader's by himself? Now, we can't bend the rules for everybody. We can't accommodate for everybody's preferences. That's unrealistic. However, at the very least, a leader should know how to support people, how to get the best out of people. What do you need to flourish in your position? And then you name me 3 or 4 things. And I say, look, I'm an employer, I'm a professor, I'm a supervisor. Realistically, look, these 2 I can't do. It's not up to me, it's the system. Okay? That's not on me. These other 2, one of them I can absolutely do. The second one, I'll work on it. And I'll get back to you on it. Okay? Does that sound reasonable? Great. It's also really important to give feedback. How do we give specific constructive feedback, and how to use reinforcement? When you do something good, I want to tell you that you're doing it good. We've got this weird idea that if you're doing something right, I shouldn't tell you. You should just know. Like, you show up professional to work every single day, 7 days a week, or whatever, 5 days a week. And I'm not going to compliment that because you just expect it to be professional. Anything that you want to see repeated, reward it, reinforce it. If you're a leader and you see some problems, you give specific constructive feedback. Don't say something like, okay, I just did the thing myself. Look at these 2 examples. Hey, don't show up late. Or you could say, punctuality is really important to me and my team. I really need you to be there on time. Those are completely different. Get away from don't do this and tell people what to do. Don't talk back to me when I'm talking to you. Please wait until I'm done, and then I'll give you your chance to speak. And then we can have a back and forth discussion. Those are totally different. So really it falls under the realm of communication, but knowing how to support people, giving specific feedback, and knowing when to positively reinforce when you want to see a behavior repeated. Take responsibility. If I train you and you go and you royally F something up, how much of that is on you? How much of that is on me? What most employers do is we go, well, you screwed up, and we're going to use you as a scapegoat. You're the reason the project failed. That's what most employers do. Or I can sit there and go, well, I trained him, and then he went and he screwed up the thing. How much of that was my bad training? And then you start thinking, well, if he was unclear, he should have asked me. He should have said, I don't understand. And then you start thinking, well, was I approachable enough? Did I specifically ask him, hey, is this making sense? Do you have any questions? Please ask me questions if you're unclear. Hey, if anything doesn't make sense to you, you can reach out to me. Did I ever say those things? Well, no, I just assumed that he knew. So let me get this straight. You call yourself a leader, you call the shots, and when it goes wrong, you blame the people around you. Wow. Yeah, really nice. So, folks, I've met, unfortunately, too many people in my life who are in leadership roles who really are poor leaders. And maybe it's because of shortages. Maybe it's because it's a top-down approach and the people above them just hired certain people due to networking, due to knowing them. I don't know why. But I know very well that you can distinguish the poor leaders in your life versus the great leaders in your life. And I promise you, those great leaders, in one way or another, symbolize the things that we've talked about today. They're confident. That doesn't mean they have all the answers, but they're confident. They're okay to be wrong. They're competent. They know what they're talking about to a degree. They're an amazing listener. They delegate. They give people different tasks to do. They know how to get the best out of you. They know how to support you. They know how to point out things that you could improve on in a constructive manner without shaming you, without bullying you, without making it a toxic work environment. And they take responsibility. If we're on a team and the project goes wrong, I don't go, guys, the boss is really angry. You guys need to pull it together. It's like, no. I'm right here with you. I led the damn thing, all right? I was the captain who said that way. We crashed into an iceberg. I'm the dude. If anything, if I'm in charge and the project or the journey went wrong, I got to take some of the biggest responsibility. Why? I'm supposed to oversee everything. I'm supposed to supervise everything. If somebody was struggling, why didn't I know about it? If somebody did something dirty or undermined it, why didn't I know about it? Well, they should have come to me, and I have expectations, and I've got my own things to worry about. It's like, yeah, if you're on your own, if somebody gives you one thing to focus on, absolutely, but not if you're a leader. If you're a supervisor, part of your role is supervising. If you're a supervisor and that's your role, and they tell you, hey, so-and-so on your team effed up, and you go, well, I'm too busy. I'm too busy to check in with everybody. You're too busy to do a part of your job that you signed up for? It's like if a professor says, look, if you don't understand anything in lecture, I don't have office hours. Like, you can't follow up with me. It's like, wait a minute, I thought you were a professor. I thought you do lecture, and then when people have questions during a certain time, you're available to help clarify those questions. Why are you not doing part of your job that you originally applied for? I am a supervisor who doesn't have time to check in with you all the time. In other words, you're a supervisor who can't supervise me enough. Okay. So, folks, take those. Think about it when you go to work, when you go to school. Keep your eyes out and see who's good at what they're doing in a supervisor role and a team leader role and who's not. And I promise you, you're going to see these things come up. As always, folks, thank you so much for your support. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. If you're listening to this on podcasting platforms, I always appreciate a follow. Send me a DM on Instagram, comment. Let me know what you want to see. What videos do you want to see? What topics are interesting for you? Do you want to learn more about ADHD? Do you want to learn more about certain disorders, certain current events? I'm always happy to hear it. Thank you very much for listening, everybody, and take care. Bye-bye.